I think you can just about make out the snow that's in the background. I had to take a picture of it because we don't get snow very often here in North Carolina. So I said, oh, I want to do it out in the snow. Anyway, today we are going to make biscuits. We're going to make them from scratch. They're really, really easy. And yes, the can is easier. You just, pop it right into the oven. But these are so nice and you can actually make them yourself. You know what ingredients go into it, everything. And in this video, you have a young lady at the end named Piper who makes a cameo. That was not planned. Anyway, let's get to work on doing our biscuits. So here are the ingredients that we are going to use to make our biscuits. It's all stuff that, you know what, once you have it in the house, you don't really need to go out and get it. So it's really nice. And I make this recipe every so often. Actually, I've been making it more because I like having the biscuits and they really are delicious. So let's start with what you're going to need. You have baking powder, okay? And that's some salt. I'm not going to use a whole lot. You're going to use, this is all-purpose flour. The recipe calls for all-purpose too. This is a tablespoon of sugar, but it looks nicer than just bringing out the thing. So this is milk. And then here is, it's so neat because the paper actually shows you where a third cup of butter is. I'm going to put it right back into the refrigerator because it's got to be real cold. I'm going to cut it up. Actually, I'll cut it up first and I'll show you. Then I'm going to put it back into the refrigerator for a bit. And those are the ingredients that we need to make our biscuits. So I've already started cutting up my butter just into pieces, little pieces, because it's going to make it easier to break it up. It's already starting to melt, which is not supposed to melt. You don't want it to get melty. And you're going to just cut it up, but it makes it easier to break it into the dough. And you don't want it to be big. You want it to be kind of easy to do it. And you want it really cold. So I'm putting this right back. It's in nice little pieces now. I'm putting it into the refrigerator while I do everything else that has to happen with it. Okay? So it's going back and getting chilled up. All right, so we're going to start off. I got the butter. I rescued it from the freezer, so not to work too slowly. I'm going to take 2 cups of the flour, and you might need some more. Actually, you are going to need some more because you're going to need it for dusting the area that you're going to work with. And also sometimes it just, if it's too sticky, you want to do it. So that's 1 cup. Cup number 2 coming up. Okay. All right. And then what I'm going to do is put the dry ingredients in. So here is the baking powder, which is going to be a tablespoon of the baking powder. And these neat little things I got from Kitchen Collection, but they're not around anymore. This is a teaspoon of the salt. Okay. And now I'm going to put in, the sugar. There's a tablespoon of the sugar. Okay. So we're going to put that in. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also put in that nice cold butter. This is a pastry cutter. You're going to use the pastry cutter to kind of get it in there good and to cut them up into little pieces. And they say you don't want to work the dough too much, but this is the fun part. I got it on my shirt. And yeah, it's in there nice, and now it's kind of getting into smaller little pieces. So I'll show you what it looks like at this point. Okay, it's integrated in there good. Some of it's a little bit bigger. is take your 3/4 cups of milk, put it in there, and I'm going to mix it up. I'll use the spoon to use that. Get them in there good. And still get it a little bit smaller. Mix that up with all of the ingredients. You can see how it's coming along. That butter being cold is what's going to be really giving those little layers that are nice. I'm going to add some more because it's pretty sticky. It's very sticky to be a little bit hard to work with. But we'll add it in a moment, okay? I'll put this aside. All right, if you have some surface that you could use, I use my counter. I clean my counter first because it's a nice big spot to use. And you flour it nice because you're going to need to flour it in order to handle the dough for the biscuits. You can actually bring it out a little bit more. Sometimes I'll also use like a, what do you call that? Like a cutting board. But since this is going to take up quite a bit of space, look how that is. That is super. That is like super sticky. But as we put it onto the surface, it's going to be a little better because you're going to have a little bit of flour fill it into the sink. You're going to like put like a little, see now it's a little bit more pliable, which is good. And you don't want to handle it too much. So what you're going to do is you're going to like flatten it into a little cute little, what do you call that? Not flatten it too much, but I'll show you. You don't want to flatten it too much. But you want to put it like that. And then I'm going to show you in a second what we're going to do too, because now what we're going to do, I'm going to do a little like rectangle, okay? Makes it a little bit easier. By the way, my oven is preheated to 425, okay? So now we're going to start making the biscuits, which is the really fun part to do. Oh, I gotta clean my hands before I turn off this camera. Okay, smart me. I put on a black shirt. So I've got flour on me. Anyway, I had it on before. I don't have anything to cut the biscuits, so I actually use like a small glass that you would use for juice. And oh, don't you love how it does that? I'm gonna cut my biscuits with it. You see how it does it? I love that. Then you're going to put it onto, I discovered parchment paper, which is so cool. You put it onto your parchment paper. Just kind of get them on there good. You spread them out. You have to give them enough room because they are going to. Now what you're going to do, which is really cool, is, and I love this, this is like when you're a kid. Play-Doh. Okay. So, see, you can't get this from the can. You really can't. This kind of... And it makes probably about 9 to 10 biscuits. And you're not cutting them like a lot. I mean, you're not making them too thin, okay? You put them on there. And you keep doing that. By the way, true confession time, I actually did this before and didn't have the camera on. So I had to reform it. That's okay, it works. And there you go with that one. And I'm going to put them in before my butter ends up getting really super melted at this point. So I'm going to put that last. I'm actually, I didn't even tell you what I was doing. I'm actually putting this one, I'm going to get that one like that. It's the last of the dough, so as not to waste it. Don't really like to waste stuff. So we'll put it onto there. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them. Like I said, it's about 9. I'll show you they're on the parchment paper. My oven is ready. I'm popping them right in. And the biscuits are ready. They cooked for, I originally put them in for 13 minutes, and they actually went an extra minute. So I did them for 14. But keep an eye on them because you might have a different, yours might be a little bit different. Now, some of them are a weird shape. And I think and that they don't usually come out like that. But you know what? You can still eat those. They're good with, I like them with gravy. And I will let them cool now. And then I'll show you what it looks like inside. If you can tell also, they're a little powdery. I think that that happened. They don't come out like that, when you don't make them, shape them twice like I had to do for the video. So when you do them, you'll just be doing them once. But I'll show you. I'll let them cool a little bit, not too much more, and I'll let you see how they look, okay? It's still snowing outside and it's still not sticking. I love North Carolina. Well, I have a biscuit and it's one of the weirdo shaped ones, okay? Because I'm saving the other ones. We have guests coming, so I'm going to save that. They do freeze really nice, like I said. This is cutting. They freeze really nice. So all you have to do is warm them up, but that's them. See? And I let them get, they're a little bit browned at the bottom. I didn't cut this one very well. And you keep an eye on them when you're doing them, as you know, because of the fact that they could be. And here's the actual butter that is melted, but you keep an eye on it because everybody's oven works differently. So you might take a little more time or a little bit less time, but that is your biscuit. Like I said, some of these that are a little bit shaped weird. Biscuits and gravy still taste good because you don't have to cut them open, so it doesn't really matter. So those are, and I'm just throwing them all over the place. This has been a weird video. Anyway, I hope you try them and then you enjoy them. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. That's that is that's my dog.